parrotfish are actually prolific sand makers. They make a couple 100 pounds of sand per year. That's just something to think about next time you're rolling around on a sandy beach. Where exactly did that sand come from?
Oh, great.
I mean, most of it is ground up volcanic rock, but... So if you see a basketball-sized head of coral, that's actually a colony of many thousands of tiny little animals called coral polyps. A single polyp is only the size of a pinhead. Coral polyps are actually cousins of jellyfish, believe it or not. They're in the same phylum. Except they spend their lives stuck where they are, stuck on the bottom. They form reefs by producing those hard skeletons out of calcium carbonate. When they die, they leave the skeleton behind. More polyps grow on top. So over the years, the coral head or the coral reef gets bigger and bigger. So that first reef that we saw was many hundreds of years old. The next one we're going to see is also going to be many hundreds of years old, if not 1,000 years old. Anchor on the port side. Is the reef healthy? That's a great question. It's doing pretty well as coral reefs go around the world. Of course, coral reefs all over the world are threatened by global warming as the water temperature rises and the ocean becomes more acidic. The coral is definitely threatened. As the water becomes more acidic, it's bad for that calcium carbonate skeleton. And then as the water gets warmer, that means there's less oxygen in the water for the tiny little animals that make up the reef. Now, fish can swim into cooler waters as the water gets warmer, but the coral is kind of stuck where it is. Did you see a sea cucumber? Yeah, we definitely have sea cucumbers here. Sea cucumbers are animals. Of course, they're not vegetables. Why do we have concrete blocks? We put those down here as visual markers for the pilots so they can find their way around the dive site. We can't use GPS down here. Yeah, the GPS signal doesn't penetrate the surface of the ocean, so the pilot is on his own. He's finding his way around, looking at the visual markers. Okay, here we are at our second reef, the North Reef. We're going to flip our lights on just a moment. Here they come, lights on. Over there on the port side, we have 6 1,000 watt bulbs on each side. Look inside of that reef. There is actually a little shark inside the cave if you have great shark eyes. Deep at the bottom of the cave, tiny little white tip reef shark about 4 feet long. White dorsal fin tip and tail fin tip. He's kind of obscured by some of the fish hanging out around the opening in the cave.
There's another really big.
That's the sound they make. So kind of hard to see because he's right inside the cave. I wouldn't have known to look if I didn't know that hiding in caves is their favorite activity during the daytime.
We're right in front of
As I mentioned, white-tip reef sharks are nocturnal hunters, so during the day they rest. When we're lucky, they rest out in the sand where they're highly visible. When we're not as lucky, they hide in the cave. It's kind of hard to see. So even if you don't see the shark, you do see the cave where the shark is, and you can still tell your friends and family that you saw a white-tip reef shark. They don't know. You can even say you saw a great white-tip reef shark. So we're gonna spin around and get some views over on our starboard side. Yeah, it's a big ocean, folks. You never know who might show up. Alright, look inside the cave now. On the starboard side, got one more chance. Got a big yellow margin more eel in there too. Whole bunch of little fish with big eyes. There's a soldier fish, and there's the shark in the left-hand side of the cave. You can see his head a little bit there.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, yeah.
See a baby right at the bottom?
Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah, there he is.
I'm thinking there's like a big hole back there.
Right there.
It's on the very bottom.
You know,
This is actually a
catch him.
challenging view to give you because the current wants to push us smack into the reef. We're not going to crash though. The viewpoints are deceptive. They're very thick. They're made out of acrylic plastic, and if you look through them diagonally, there's an optical illusion of it looks like things are much closer than they actually are. That cave in the North Reef is a great place for some of our nocturnal fish to hang out. It's funny that the little fish are hiding in there with the shark, clearly not bothered by his presence. The little ones with the forked tails and big eyes, red coloring, those are called soldier fish.
I'm scared. Is there a person up there?
Do we do night dives? Not at the moment. The tricky thing about night dives is that at night it's dark down here. Even though we do have lights on the submarine, you know, they're only effective for a few yards. So it's a little bit tricky, a little dangerous dive at night. Papillo, yeah. Lots of papillo on our dive site. Papillo is the Hawaiian word for any juvenile jack. Various species of jacks here. Bluefin trevallies, yellow spot trevallies. And keep an eye out for them because they're the main daytime predators on our reefs. They're here to snack on the little reef fish. But if you see one with big eyes and thick lips, that's a large-eyed emperor. And he's not interested in the fish, but instead crustaceans. He wants to eat crabs and lobsters. That's right, we're going to see our sunken ship next. Yeah, would this look the same scuba diving? It would. And actually, we have the benefit of our lights on the sub. You're not going to have a 1,000 watt halogen bulb with you unless you work for National Geographic. Oh yeah, a couple of bleached heads over there on the starboard side. That's what's left from the bleaching that we had during El Nino. We're lucky that most of the coral bounced back.
Wow.
Alright, here comes our sunken ship, the Carthaginian. If we're on our port side, we'll do a nice port pass, then a starboard pass. Our port side, she's been down here 10.5 years. We sank her to make a habitat for marine life. As you can see, it worked out really well. Look out for some more big silverfish with blue fins. Those are the bluefin trevallies, the daytime predators I mentioned. We even have a celebrity on the side of the sunken ship. It's SpongeBob, yeah.
Picture for Jake.
We have pipes on the deck and on the bow that we put there so that more eels would hang out. as I mentioned, this ship sat outside of Lahaina Harbor for 30 years as a floating whaling museum. People would go down inside of her and learn about Lahaina's whaling history. But after 30 years sitting outside the harbor, she developed a rust problem. The Coast Guard shut her down. The owners sold her to us for $1. It was a pretty good deal. But it cost us an additional $250,000 to turn her into fish housing. You could say we sank a lot of money into the project. But the reason it cost that much money is because we had to do environmental assessments. We got permits from the state, thorough cleanup effort to remove all the pollutants from her, all the oil and machinery. And we even scraped off the marine growth from her time sitting outside Lahaina Harbor. So here we go, spinning around. We're going to get some great views over on the port side next. Or excuse me, the starboard side. Starboard side, so I'm going to get the next view now. To do the actual sinking, we cut holes in her hull above the waterline, and then we pumped her full of seawater. Sent her down to the bottom. It was controlled sinking. Here we go, another great view of the Carthaginian. The coral that's growing on her got there naturally. We didn't glue it on. Tiny little fertilized polyp attaches to a hard surface, then reproduces over time to form a colony. Got some little yellowfish with black dots on their tails. By the stern, those are called milk-sea butterfly fish. That's a kind that's only found here in Hawaii. So we're gonna go around here, and then I think we're gonna head over the top of the sunken ship. Yeah, Captain Ezra likes to go over the top